But he looked like he might be decent, didn't
Class. Some of the goals.
Hello, welcome back to Deadline Day Live, coming to you via the Ball Street YouTube channel and, of course, the Ball Street living room, which has served us so well all day. Yes, thank you very much for those of you who watched us all the way through. Absolute heroes. If you just joined us, welcome on board for one final push. We're going to be wrapping up everything that's happened today in the transfer window in hopefully a fun and entertaining way, which is basically what Sky wish they could do. Although, in fairness, there are no blow-up sex dolls or blue dildos. I apologise in advance, but there's only so many things we can replicate in the studio. Unfortunately, I'm joined by Joel from
Unfortunately, joined by Joel.
Unfortunately. I didn't want to have to say it straight up to your face. Joined by Joel from Messy Minutes. We've got Matt Wilson from Ball Street, and we've got Dave from Squawka.com. The deals that didn't get across the line. Petr Cech's tweeted to say that he's staying put at Chelsea. Unlucky or good for him, I suppose?
I mean, it makes sense. Eventually, they were always going to be left with a Petr Cech that was too old to start with when Courtois was so brilliant. It seems like a load of clubs around the world now have two top-class goalkeepers. You look at Bayern Munich, who now have two top-class goalkeepers with Reina as a backup. You look at Barcelona, who do, Real Madrid, who do, Arsenal, who now do. A ton of these teams. I don't know where they're coming from. Why aren't these players moving on to start football games? But from Chelsea's perspective, he's a great player.
Yeah, money. That's the Carlo Cudicini ambition he's showing there. Chelsea have probably got 26 players out on loan, which makes a mockery of FFP. But the biggest news, of course, is that basically no big deals got completed in time. But the big clubs have applied for extensions. So Danny Welbeck, Dave, and apparently Falcao they'll be allowed a little bit of extra time to make sure these deals get over the line.
Yeah, too. I think they will work out very well for both clubs respectively. Danny Welbeck will be able to play the fluid Arsenal football, and Falcao will just score some goals, I think. Yeah. So I think they're both very, very good signings.
Excellent. We're going to do transfer like dislike in a couple of minutes' time using the infamous Ball Street big thumbs. So stay tuned for that in a moment. We've also got a whole host of prizes to give away before we finally turn in for the night, including an Ozzy Ardiles signed Argentina replica shirt. Ozzy! Some flyaway footies. Oh yeah, in fact I've got the list here, why don't I just look at it?
Is Fellaini gone?
Fellaini's gone, unfortunately, went very early on. We've got a Ball Street thing, Bob.
We lost interest when he had his haircut anyway, didn't we?
There's a few bits and pieces to go anyway. So tweet us in your pictures of you wearing your most random football shirt that you own. Tweet us to @Ball Street. One last chance to win some free goodies. Onto the comments, Jack White asking, where has Markovic gone? He's in the background keeping us updated. Nice one, Charlie. Someone says, F her right in the... Why would you do that? Anyway, let's get to some of the sort of bigger debates that today's turned up. Matt, Manchester United have spent a massive amount of money in this transfer window. No guarantees of top four. It's clearly a gamble. I mean, where do you stand at paying massive wages out and paying out a lot of money in transfer fees?
Yeah, I think like when you look at United and what they've done, they're clearly just terrified. They had such a bad season last year. It was a shock to the entire system of the club. They blamed Moyes. Moyes has now left. Van Gaal's come in, and I think from all the United fans that I spoke to, and I don't know what you think about this, Dave. Everybody seemed to kind of be of the opinion that right, David Moyes is gone now. It's going to be business as usual. And I think they had a few decent results over in America in the Champions competition.
Yeah, and international Champions Cup winners.
Yeah, they start the season with that defeat, and they go straight into panic mode, and they have gone into panic mode.
Yeah,
and they remind me now of a high stakes gambler that's at the table that is essentially throwing as much money as they can muster into it, literally hoping to break even, because they need the money from BT for the Champions League. I don't know if this is true, but I hear that their shirt deal with Adidas is based on them finishing in the Champions League. The money gets reduced, so essentially there's a lot of pressure on them to get into that top four, and they're throwing everything at it. And I think it's asking a lot for all these new signings to gel.
Yeah, Dave, how do you
it's a strange one. We sort of did our business too late. Again, you know, we shouldn't be making transfers on deadline day. Chelsea sort of got their business done a long time ago, and that's what you want to do. All the German clubs that have acted in this window did their business early, and there's no transfers on deadline day. It seems rushed. Daley Blind's a really strange one. Van Gaal loved them at the World Cup. They looked like they were father and son. And then we've spent 6 weeks looking at our squad and being like, okay, we don't actually have anyone that could play, that is that flexible, can play central midfield, can play centre back, can play left wing back. Then we sign him today. It's absolutely madness. We wasted 4 games of the season not having Daley Blind. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it is a crazy one. I mean, we've seen the money that's got a bit of potentially. I mean, right now, here and now, Falcao isn't completed, but you know, he's already given interviews saying it's good. So let's presume it is.
Sure.
That's, you know, like £350,000 a week. There's going to be mega deals in place for Di Maria. Van Persie's already on good money. We know Rooney's on astonishing money. This is a team without European football. They simply have to get back into the top 4.
Exactly. As you say, they have to. I mean, Manchester United are, in my opinion, you can't argue they're not the biggest club in the country. By almost every measure you can imagine, they have to get back into that top 4. They're not going to get back in the top 4 by playing Tom Cleverley every week. They have to spend this big money, and when they don't have the Champions League and they're looking for the very best players in the world, for me, it makes sense that they're really, really flashing their cash at the moment.
But it's almost like they're a time bomb, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like the whole banking crisis. It is, though. It's like they're spending all this money, and what happens if they don't make it?
If they don't make it, it's fine, because their revenues are so huge. You have Manchester United, the big problem over the last 5-10 years has been the Glazers, where people have overlooked it because they've been so successful. Because in that kind of period of time, they've won the Champions League. They've won the Premier League several times.
Absolutely, but you're saying this as though, yeah, of course, I think financially they can cope with having that kind of wage on the budget. Yeah. But what happens when Falcao turns around and says, "Well, hold on a second, I'm not playing in in Champions League football or even Europa or whatever." Same with Di Maria. We're talking about Man United who can't shift Tom Cleverley because his wage demands are too high.
Well, I mean, it's easier to shift Di Maria than it is Tom Cleverley.
But is it when he's on the best part of £300,000 a week? Yeah. Who's going to take, you know?
If it's because he wants to move, yeah, because he wants to move.
But Premier League players and top quality players don't take pay cuts very often, do they?
then he'll want to stay.
Well, this is it, but what I mean is Man United are going to be lumbered with these players who are motivated to stay at the football club on massive wages, who are going to be very difficult to shift. I'm sorry, Man United fans, if you're watching. I don't, you know, look, I am a Scouser, if you can tell, so I do take a slight amount of glee in this. But from a football perspective, look, Liverpool have gone through this. Liverpool was saddled, fell out of the Champions League, struggled to get back in, and was saddled with players on ridiculous wages. You had Jamie Carragher was a 4th choice centre back and was on more than £100,000 a week. Steven Gerrard, now top quality player, one of the best footballers ever to play the game. He's on over 100 grand a week. And does he deserve it? Is he the best player in that team anymore? Questionable. You know, Dirk Kuyt was on big wages, Pepe Reina was on big wages, Glenn Johnson, and look at what Liverpool have done with those players. They weren't able to go and sell them on. Pepe Reina, Napoli didn't want to take him because he wanted too much money. You know.
Well, that's the thing. You can write down that United team now, and on paper it looks fantastic. Names like Falcao, if it gets done. Names like Di Maria. Put him next to Van Persie, Rooney, Mata, who's already there. But as we always say, like, football isn't played on paper; it's played on grass. And it's the chemistry between these people that is what ultimately makes them gel and makes them perform as a unit and as a team. And it's very hard to just get that instantaneously. And it's very hard, I think, to topple the teams that are in there, because you look at Chelsea, you look at Man City, you can't see either of those two teams dropping out of the top 4. Arsenal, I think, are in better shape than they were last year. And Liverpool, you know, you saw them play against Tottenham. The philosophy that Brendan Rodgers got in place, they've lost a couple of players and they bring a couple of players in, like he did at Swansea. It kind of continues the pattern of play. The combinations of movement are impressive. I think that United are asking an awful lot to get back into that Champions League, and that's what I'm talking about. If they don't get that money next year from when everybody else gets this massive investment, 2 years out of the Champions League is a long time out of the sunshine. You're talking about a brand whose a lot of their money, a lot of their revenue comes from overseas. It comes from interest in other markets. All of a sudden, these teams, we know that they'll start to support other teams. Kids that are growing up that would have been United fans, that have been every year because they're always in the latter stage of the tournament, will start to be looking elsewhere. And that's what can damage a team, and what can damage a team in the stock market and create more pressure. I think they're a time bomb. I'm sorry to say.
Let's play devil. Let me play devil's advocate on this though, because in fairness, if Man United don't go out and bring in, as mentioned, Falcao and get rid of Welbeck and bring in Di Maria, what does world football say? Man United are a spent power. Man United are accepting their fate. They're going to go down. Again, Liverpool were in a position where they had dreadful ownership in at the time. Liverpool were hours away from literally doing a Glasgow Rangers from going bust. Man United, for as bad as the Glazers are still there. They're still prepared to pump money in as and when it's needed. So it's a massive gamble. But they've got no choice but to gamble, because if they don't get back into top four, you could be looking at this time. So I think as much as we're being critical of the huge wages being spent, what else? I mean, what else were they going to do?
Well, I think that you've got to look at Ed Woodward. He's got to follow David Gill's pattern. David Gill does a lot based on whether you win the league. You pay for Wayne Rooney, you pay 38 million quid or whatever it was, but based on United performing. What you need to do to these players, the Falcaos, the Di Marias, the Wayne Rooneys, is say, you don't get into the Champions League, that's 50% of your wages gone. And you need to make those bold statements to these players to, one, motivate them, and to, two, not put Manchester United into that situation when we're not going to have enough money to, to run the ground, turn the lights on. I think that's key.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is ultimately a massive gamble. Man United fans, if you're watching, let us know in the comments or tweet us at Ball Street what your thoughts are on there. Look, you've got to be happy. You can't, look, there's not a football fan on earth who isn't happy when the transfer window shuts and you say it, Radamel Falcao has just signed for you on deadline day. You got Angel Di Maria in during the summer. You've gone out and spent there. Luke Shaw, everyone in the Premier League would have been happy with Luke Shaw in the side, to be fair. So, they've got a much better manager potentially than David Moyes. So things are looking up. So let us know your thoughts on that. But equally, from the flip side, as we've already summed up, potentially a ticking time bomb. You've got players on ridiculous wages, and if they don't get Champions League football, what the hell are they going to do then? This sort of feeds neatly into, because Matt, something you were talking about there, but I'll come to Joel on this first. Having seen the players brought in deadline or during the transfer deadline, but seeing the players particularly coming today, particularly with Man United and whatever, has it changed your top four season predictions that you made before the season kicked off?
No.
And what were they?
For me, I can't. I'm finding it difficult to put my fingers on a fourth. Okay. I think Chelsea are going to win the league. I think they're going to walk the league. But hey, I think Manchester City have invested in players, but certainly not to the extent they have in the past. And when you don't invest significantly in players in the Premier League, when you don't take those steps forwards, relatively, you're taking a step backwards. So I think they'll finish second. Obviously, I'm biased. I want to say Arsenal are going to finish third. And so I probably have Liverpool fourth.
Good job.
And then,
good job, John.
And then, no, I'm going to have to go for United fifth, Tottenham sixth again, showing bias. Tottenham aren't very good.
No mention of Everton?
No.
Sorry, Evertonians.
They're brilliant, and a lot of people are saying that they were underrated last season. And you know what? They're underrated this season. Lukaku is a brilliant player, but with a club whose wage budget is that small, I can't help but get the feeling every year, kind of like how everyone else gets the feeling with Arsenal, I can't help but feel like they're going to drop off eventually. Okay. But I'll probably be wrong.
Well, statistically speaking, Matt, the teams that have the biggest wage budgets or the biggest wage spends are the team that seems to finish highest up in the league. So maybe Man United just feel they've gone off that. I mean, if you're going to go off a statistic, it's a reasonable one to go off as any.
Yeah, no, you're right. There is that pattern, and as you'd expect that to be the case, it's that way in the Championship as well. And I don't want to sound like I'm completely KDing Manchester United here, because I'm not. And I know that people like Buzz BM UFC, who's a good friend of mine, will be watching and probably won't be liking this, but I'll give you my top four. In fact, it's very similar to what Joel said. I think that it's Chelsea and City at the top. Then I'd have Liverpool, and then I think Arsenal finish fourth again. I think it'll do Liverpool a favour if they go out the Champions League honourably but early, and then they can kind of focus on the league again. But I don't think United are going to finish in the top six. And I also don't think
bold.
And this is bold. I think that United, like I said, I think they're in trouble, and I think it could be I don't think that they're going to win the Premier League again for another 5 or 6 seasons. I think that whole squad, when it got to the end of Fergie, he'd got so much out of it. And once that whole mystique of United had been broken, once that sort of bubble had been punctured, it takes a lot to build that back. Fergie built that over years, and that's what made players like Johnny Evans better than they were. That's what made Tom Cleverley appear at times better than what he was. He got a lot out of players, and I just feel that once that's now gone, everyone's licking their chops when they're playing Man United now, aren't they? They're going to Old Trafford thinking, all we've got to do is frustrate them for a little while, and if we manage to get a goal ahead, the crowd will start to panic. So for me, I think that you're looking at teams like Everton who are strong and who are building something new under Martinez. I think Spurs could be up there, and I think United will be struggling to make that top 6.
Great, okay, do let us know actually, Ellie. If you're watching, let us know in the comments on the side of the YouTube video, tweet at Ball Street. Has Man United's business changed your thoughts on top 4? I think personally, before the season started, I thought Van Halen spending some money, I think they might be right back in there. The start of the season's made you go, oh dear God, from a United perspective, not from mine, that this might be a little bit of a struggle. But as we say, look, they've got top quality in there, and having attacking talent available to you, goals win games, and you need to play good attacking football in the Premier League. So have they got enough there to paper over the cracks? Potentially, Man United, from a Liverpudlian perspective, are like the horror movie villains. Every time you think it's dead, they come back for one more scare. You know what I mean? So I'm not. I can't.
Terminator.
Yeah, exactly. Like we need to be put in the financial crusher, like the end of Terminator 1. But I don't think it'll happen because it's Man United. You'd be foolish to write Man United off. It just because they do just keep on coming back. Okay, we'll come back to some of your comments in a moment. But now it's time for a transfer like this. Like I'm going to hand these down the line. Boys, there we go.
You.
It's a pretty simple concept. I'm going to read out a transfer that's taking place today. And I'm going to get the boys to rate whether they like or dislike it. Simple as, and we think there's anything interesting to get from it, then we'll discuss that as well. If you just joined us, welcome to Transfer Deadline Day Live. We're wrapping up all the biggest news stories with giant foam thumbs. This is just how we roll in the Ball Street living room. Okay, first and foremost, gents. Micah Richards, Fiorentina. Oh, come on, Joel. Wow, okay, 3 thumbs up. Joel?
I love that English players are going for abroad. I've really wanted it to happen for absolutely years. It's the way that we're going to develop English talents, not by having less foreign players in the Premier League. It is going to be by having these players going abroad. I'm delighted to see Micah Richards doing it, and I think he'll be successful.
Great, and he's going to learn how to defend if he's going to Italy, then.
I think so, yeah. I think he's going to become that player. I think he will just come into his role at Fiorentina. Maybe learning Italian might be a struggle for him, but how good he is at languages, but you know, he's just got to crack on with that. Savic will help him out, and then I think he'll turn into a decent Serie A defender, I'd say.
Okay, Matt?
I'll change the dislike actually now, just to go, yeah, of course, just to go against the grain. I kind of feel, I'm just going to dislike it because Micah Richards, when he came through, he had so much promise. Like, I remember he's just like an absolute gazelle when he'd tear down that right hand. All power, and I just thought that was the England right-back position, like locked for many years to come. Or he could even go play centre-half. It was great from a corner, he'd attack it. He seemed to have so much, and he's just one of those that's kind of just ended up disappointing. And the fact that he's going off to Fiorentina, I can't see that working out for him. I don't know him as a guy. Will he adapt to the culture? I think to go to somewhere like Italy, I think you have to really make an effort. So I don't know. I can imagine coming back somewhere like Stoke on loan, you know, in the next window or something like that. So I dislike it, very passionate, like I did right from the start.
Yeah. In the comments, Chris Pajak saying, "Yes, Matt, big ass balls." Okay, next up, Danny Welbeck's £16 million move to Arsenal Football Club. Ooh.
What was it?
Danny Welbeck.
Come on, mate, big. He's just thinking about his big ass balls. What do you think? Up or down? Just pick one.
I'll go down.
Yeah, well done. You've literally your first stint on the show. You've done nothing.
I'm
Floating around all day.
Sorry.
Dave.
Good sign. He'll be good for Arsenal. Fit in well with their system, and he could, you know, I think he'll very improve playing 90 minutes a week. He'll improve, and he could play a variety of roles for Arsenal. could be very interchangeable with Sanchez moving out to the right. I think he's tactically flexible, can do a job for you tactically as well, like he did on Xabi Alonso in the Champions League. So yeah, thumbs up.
Matt? No.
I dislike it tremendously. No, seriously though, the reason I dislike that is that Arsenal should have signed Hernandez. For me, he was the one. If he's gone out on loan today, as has Welbeck. Look, I think Welbeck's a great player. He's a good. Well, it's okay. He's gone permanently, but that's the guy. I think Ian Wright has said that a lot as well. He's someone that can literally that does his work in the 6-yard box. Arsenal have got a lot of players that come from deep, a lot of players that come out wide. I want someone that's trying his best to get to the far post to kind of or get across the defender to get a toe on it. So that's why I dislike it.
Okay, good, Joel.
I completely disagree. I think there's a reason why Michael Owen died out in football. It's because forwards that hang
Hamstrings.
Yeah, injuries.
Players like Michael Owen, right? Yeah. Players that hang on the last man and poach and are brilliant finishers and are very quick and maybe very small. That mould of player, they died out because they don't contribute to play. And if they don't contribute to the play, there isn't a place for them in football anymore.
So Welbeck more than Hernandez.
So Welbeck more than Hernandez. I'm putting a thumbs up because I mean it hasn't technically been confirmed yet. And tomorrow, if I wake up and I find out it's collapsed, I'll be upset. If you asked me a month ago if I wanted Welbeck, no way. But at this point,
it's all about perspective.
Why not?
It's the Danny Welbeck perspective. It's a new thing. Gaston Ramirez goes to Hull. Ooh. I love this. What's everyone else doing? Yeah. Okay, Dave, no?
Suits Serie A. I think that he came to the Premier League and it's a bit too physical for him. He's more of a relaxed, chilled out type of player. Playing for Bologna, he was brilliant, scored some brilliant back heels. But I think the Premier League is a bit too fast for him. Going up to Hull, again, going to be taken out of his comfort zone. Not for me.
Okay, just quickly before we move on, Jack White has so many good hair pieces today. This guy with the glasses is a parting today.
Very good. I read the earlier comments on Charlie. I was terrified coming on, I'll be honest with you.
And Paul Machin agrees personal terms with Ball Street after fee agreed. Cannot be confirmed. Right,
free transfer.
Quickly then, Joel, what do you think? Gaston Ramirez?
Purely on the basis that it's interesting.
Sorry?
Toby Alderweireld signs for Southampton.
On loan?
No.
I think he's very overrated. I think there's a reason why he didn't get time.
Okay, well, we've got him in a moment. Carry on.
Fine. Purely on the basis that it's interesting. Hull have made a bunch of signings. They're playing a funny system. Steve Bruce is their manager. I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
Beautiful. Okay, anything to...
Nothing major. Nothing of worth to add, but other than what I do like about Hull is that they have attacked this window and they're a team that's definitely on the rise. They brought in some good players and
If the transfer window was a room full of people, Steve Bruce has walked in windmilling. Basically, and to be fair, he's killing a number of people if he does that in a room. He is a big man. Okay, Hatem Ben Arfa, Hull, same token, I suppose. Let's go. Ooh. Okay, Matt.
I think he's a very nice replacement for Boyd, who I believe's left today as well. I think Boyd left
to Burnley.
It was a great signing for them, by the way. But yeah, great replacement for him. He'd kind of gone a bit stale at Newcastle, but when he was in what was, I think you could describe as full rinse mode at times at Newcastle, he'd pick up the ball deep, he'd drive forward with it, and I think he'll be, I think he'll be a good part of a good Hull side this year.
Okay. And
what I like with Hull is that they work hard, and I don't think Ben Arfa's going to give them that hard working attitude.
Not famed.
So I think that's why he doesn't fit in for me at all.
Okay, anything to add to that, Joel?
Really, just because I thumbs up last time, it's still very interesting. Ben Arfa, as I said earlier, very, very talented. His highlights reel is brilliant. Really, when you watch him, it's not quite the same.
He's a YouTube sensation.
Exactly, like Ricardo Carrera. Thank you very much, and yourself. But I'm not sure he'll do the job that he's been asked to do.
Okay, a few more to go. We've still got on the transfer roundup. We're going to be doing. Matt's going to be delivering us his top 5 signings of the window. So stay tuned for that. And we're going to be giving away prizes. Don't forget to keep tweeting in your pictures of you wearing random football shirts, and you could win a signed Aussie Ardiles Argentina shirt and some other less good prizes. Okay, Toby Alderweireld, as mentioned, moved to Southampton. Ooh. No, overrated?
I butted in earlier. I think he's overrated. There's a reason why he wasn't anywhere near that Atleti pecking order. He wasn't particularly good at Ajax, and he, for me, definitely wasn't particularly good at Atleti. However, having said that, Lovren was pretty poor before he went to Southampton.
Yeah.
And he could definitely become that player, but for now, I don't see it.
Okay, Matt?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I knew who he was. But the reason why I like it, is because the Saints had a terrible start to the season, losing Lallana, losing Lambert, losing Shaw. A lot of that team and that nucleus of players that had served them so well. And I think we were all looking, they were a bit of a joke, weren't they, on Twitter? Every single day they were losing players, people were asking for transfer requests. So to see what Koeman's actually done, he's a bit of time, he seems to be building something now. They've started the season quite well. And Saints, I do like Saints, they're a great club, they're a good family club, some great players over time. And yeah, I think that for them to be rebuilding well is a good thing. So Koeman knows what he wants, hopefully he'll do well for them.
Anything to add, Dave?
I think it'll be a good signing just for the fact that he got potential at Ajax. He was really good. Stepped in when Vertonghen moved on. He became that player, the ball player. Then went to Atletico, didn't play at all. Style of football was a bit different to him when he was playing at Ajax. But I think he'll have that chance under Koeman. I think it'll be a good signing.
Okay, one more breaking thing. Crystal Palace have confirmed Kevin Doyle on loan from Wolves until January.
Wow. To be honest,
Speechless. Yeah.
Right.
to be honest, just because those two put their thumbs down,
Go, excellent.
Oh,
Controversial.
had to offer the third opinion.
Love Warnock as a Huddersfield Town fan. I have great respect and admiration for what he did to us in the 1994 to 1996 era. Likes to get his business done, but for me, he's gone in there. He's not had very much time. This seems like a bit of a panic signing. I'm sure he knows what he'll get out of someone like Doyle, but is he the kind of quality that kicks them on from last season? I'm just not sure he is. You know, he's a little bit kind of past it.
Yeah.
He'll run around. I'm sure putting a great shift for Warnock, but I'm not sure that he's improving them.
Okay, one final one. It has to be done, of course. The biggest, most protracted saga of deadline day. Radamel Falcao to Manchester United. Oh! Joe, just to be controversial again?
Well, I would have done it before.
Okay.
It's controversial. I don't think Falcao lives up to what people make of him. The only thing that he gives is goals. Granted, he gives it exceptionally well, but a lot of those are penalties. And really, what else does he contribute to the side? You can argue that United really do just need a goal scorer right now. But for me, he's a ticking time bomb, not only in that his all-round game is so good, but that he does have knee issues. It's not just the one issue. He's had it since he was 19. And I think this year, he might get 20 goals. I don't think he will. The year after that, for me, definitely not.
He's about to get vined to death this season. That turns out really well. Matt?
Yeah, look, I think that some of the points Joel's made there are really good. I just like it for the simple fact that it's been quite dramatic today. If this wasn't happening and we couldn't kind of be, oh yeah, he's just arrived in British airspace and oh, he's touched down, then we'd have been. So, so yeah, I like it for that reason.
Fair play.
Firstly, Man City wanted him, Liverpool wanted him, Arsenal wanted him, and Chelsea probably wanted him at some stage, and now he's signed for Man United. Not really a player that we need, but someone that could do a job for you. I think goal scoring wise, he's incredible. He's an incredible goal scorer. I think that's could just be perfect for Man United this season.
Great. Okay, I'm happy for that. Let us know your thoughts on Falcao. Transfer like or dislike, good move for Manchester United or a bad move. Let us know in the comments or tweet us at Ball Street. Don't forget, last chance to get your picture. You can, yeah, thanks boys, you can ditch them now. Great work as ever. Good movement of the wrist. I don't know where you've practiced that. Send us in your pictures of you wearing your most random football shirts. We're going to be doing the prize draw in a moment. But first, Matt, because it's your first chance on the sofa today. I want you to pick your top 5 signings of the window. We've got those 5 there. Costa Fabregas, Alexis Sanchez, Mario Balotelli and Gylfi Sigurdsson. We've still got Di Maria, Fernando Lukaku, Falcao and Welbeck to be added. What do you reckon?
Right, okay. Balotelli's going to be on there because I've been reading the comment section all day on YouTube and people are getting very pissed off. People have been pissed off at you. They're like, just stick him fucking on there. Just stick Balo on there. So Balotelli's going on there and he's going to be down here in 4th place because moving him is going to be a little bit of an issue.
Okay.
For top signing, I mean, you can't argue with how Costa has started the season. But for me, I think Fabregas is got to be the top signing. The reason being is look at his pedigree, look at what he's won. He seemed to be able to fit in at Barcelona. He was a great player for Arsenal. Already he started the season well for Chelsea. Yeah. He's just got that pedigree. I think he's one of the only players on here that would walk into every single team in the Premier League. Okay. If I'm honest with you. Okay, 2, I'm actually going to go Costa, and maybe this is why Chelsea are going to be a good bet for the league. Yeah. I'm going Costa as well, just because he looks like he is doing it. 32 million feels like it might be a little bit high.
But if he continues scoring at this rate?
If he continues scoring at this rate, then, crying out loud, then I'm going to go for Di Maria.
This was easy when we only had 5 names.
I know. I'm going to go for Di Maria, right? And the reason why I'm going for Di Maria is I remember tweeting about this when it was when Germany beat Argentina in the final, and I was very much of the opinion that if Di Maria had played, that he would have been what would have tipped the scales in Argentina's favour. Yes, Germany are a great side, but there was only a piece of paper that separated those two teams, and he was the kind of guy that on the break just causes teams problem. Very much like Robin, and I think a fit Messi, a fit Di Maria, and a fit, what's the guy at Man City, Aguero, and I think that Argentina would have won that World Cup.
Great, okay. Balotelli
so I think he's there. Balotelli is gonna, in fact, no, he's not gonna be at 4. I kind of want Sigurdsson to be in there, but I'm gonna stick Balotelli at 5, and just for
all the trolling
Arsenal fans, because he scored twice this last week, and they're pretty happy about it, bless them. And you know, I think they deserve that. So let's put Alexis on there as well.
No Huddersfield Town players in there.
Well, we did just sign Hudson from Cardiff. Defender. Mark Hudson from Cardiff.
Of course.
Yeah, which is.
Any stats on him, do?
No, he's a decent Championship player though. He's gone up with a lot of sides. Like he went up with Palace a few seasons ago. Right. He's been, with Cardiff. I think he's a good player. I like him.
Outstanding. There we go. Huddersfield fans, you've been waiting for this all day. There's a little bit of an update on news.
But we should have gone for. I was good that Pilkington went to Cardiff and Sean Morrison went to Cardiff. Actually, those 2 great signs. And Cardiff are another team that have got their business done well. But that's my top 5, and I think Lukaku's sad to be just missing out.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, well, the big time has come. Thank you very much for everyone who's been involved. You want to see who's going to win our final prizes of the night. Oh, by the way, if you agree or disagree with anything Matt says, tough because he's the boss. And interesting to know that I have been, and anyone who's ever seen me present anything before will know that I have done a very, very good job not to drop any naughty language into the show today. And yet Matt, who's been on here for 20 minutes, dropped the first F-bomb of the day. So thanks very much for that, Mr. Wilson. Right, okay, first one up. Wow, okay, yeah, I've got to give this first prize to Jamie Janssen, I hope that's right, who sent the Lancaster City FC away shirt. That is random. I like that. We're going to retweet that now. Follow at Ball Street on Twitter if you want to see what the Lancaster City away shirt looks like. Once my internet connection returns. Matt, pick a number. 3, 6, 11, 12, 13.
Let's go for 12.
Number 12. Can we have a little bit of a... Whoa! Fly away! Hey!
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much, Jamie. DM, follow Ball Street and DM, and we'll make sure that gets sent over to you. Okay, we've got a few more here. Let's see what we got. Oh wow, that is a fantastic effort. Okay, Kenny Wheeler at Pogesse. Pogesse. Zaire 1970 World Cup shirt. That is genius move. That is absolutely genius. We're going to favourite. I'm going to retweet that again on Ball Street. If everyone should know what that shirt looks like if you ever watched your World Cup history. Which number did we pick last time? 12. Okay, let me just make sure that's gone. So we've actually only got 3 numbers left because I miscounted. Joel, 3, 6 or 11?
6.
Number 6, okay. The man from Zaire has won. That's off as the Aussie Art Dealers signed Argentina shirt. I'm worthy for a shirt of that quality. I think we can.
International postage, brilliant.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's actually from.
Oh.
If you're from Zaire,
you might have to collect it.
We'll leave that up to Matt, right? There we go. And you know what? Because we've, I think we've got one more. We can do one more prize, so why not? Let's see if we've got one more shirt to give up. One more shirt. Oh yeah, it's got to be the 1996-97 Liverpool Crew / Cream away shirt from Oscar Salemba. Brilliant work. Let's have a number 3 or 11, please, Dave.
11.
11 is a...
What about the Ball Street T-shirt? We're giving that away.
Okay, the Ball... I think we've... Oh, hang on, yeah.
We should give that away as well.
Right, I'll tell you what. First person to tweet at the Ball Street now and say, give me that Ball Street T-shirt, gets that Ball Street T-shirt. Go.
Might have to get me nan to tweet. Is anyone watching now? No one can be watching now.
There's loads of people watching now. I just want to say a big shout out to the 440 odd people who are watching now. Thank you very much for tuning in throughout the year.
Hey. Thank you. Tell them to subscribe. We've got Emil Heskey in tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we've got the normal show, what the hell's it called? Transfer Weekly. It's been a long day. Transfer Weekly is on theballstreet.com. No, it's not. It's on youtube.com, my word.
Where they're watching now.
Where are you watching? youtube.com/Ball Street. We've got a more casual, well, more professional setup than this ramshackle organisation we've had doing the live streaming. We've got the man, the legend, Emil Heskey in with us tomorrow. We should theoretically be playing Liverpool Buckaroo as well, which, if it all comes off, is definitely worth tuning in for. Who else have we got in?
Got Ray Parler.
Ray Parler in, of course.
Squawka Dave in the house. Andy Brass will be back. You're very good self if you get out of bed.
If I can get out of bed.
So it's going to be a fun show tomorrow, wrapping up the window and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing all these debates. If you enjoyed the debates and the chat so far, we're going to have a bit more time, a bit more space to get more involved with all that stuff. Let's see if anyone's been... Has everyone caught? We've had loads. And the first person to say, give me that, someone said, I don't want it. Brilliant. That's amazing.
T-shirt, please, one.
I think it's a give me that Ball Street T-shirt was what I asked for. And that goes to at Dan Harrison 13. Well done,
Danny boy.
Yeah. Absolutely outstanding, Dan. Good work. Reading have announced the loan signing of Glenn Murray from Crystal Palace until January.
Why would you lose Murray and then bring in Doyle? That's for me is
mental.
Yeah, Murray scored a lot of goals there. It was a real talisman for them.
To be honest,
bad injury, but
if we're talking about bad Neil Warnock decisions, that T-shirt he wore to the match at the weekend, probably up there with the criminal ones. Anyway, that's it. That's us. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to Ball Street YouTube channel. If you've been with us from the start, you're a goddamn hero. Thank you very much to Joel. Go and check out at Messi Minutes on Twitter and at Messi Seconds on YouTube. Squawka Dave. Go and check out squawka.com's comparison matrix for all kinds of fun comparison statage. And of course, come to Mr. Ball Street himself, Matt Wilson. He's thanking you for actually turning on and making sure that it's been his money well spent. Yeah. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. We'll see you, if you don't see you on Ball Street, we'll see you in January.
Thanks for you, Paul.
Yeah,
you've been amazing,
a fantastic host.
He literally got up at 6 a.m. Something like 5 a.m. and he's back on tomorrow. So respect to Paul. He's carried out an amazing job. Amazing job. Truly amazing guy.
Promised myself I wasn't going to cry. Right, anyway, thanks very much. Thanks very much to the guys behind the camera as well.
Yeah, cheers, fellas.
Brilliant
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolute heroes. Right, thank you very much. And yeah, we've always said the legends and that. Thanks very much, and we'll see you soon. Ta-ra.
See ya.